The Dow Jones Industrial Average reached a historic milestone, surpassing 40,000 levels for the very first time, mostly propelled by robust corporate earnings as well as easing inflation data. But it has been a long and tumultuous journey for the index, which on the road saw wars, policy and leadership changes, the pandemic, major corrections through all of this, and yet kept hiking along. In this video, I take you with me on this journey of all the important milestones that the Dow Jones has charted and also what was happening across the world during that time. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Moneycontrol's YouTube channel for more such content. Well, I may have to take you a little far back into time, but the index today looks far different from when it was created more than a century ago by Charles Dow in 1896, with just about 12 industrial stocks in it. It was only then in 1928 that it went on to include new members, stopping at 30 stocks. In fact, the index has seen many companies being added and removed over time as the US economy grew. But the Dow traded well below the 1,000 levels until the early 1970s. And it wasn't until the mid-1990s that the Dow cracked the 5,000 level. By this time, it had the likes of a McDonald's and even a Walt Disney, IBM that were part of the index. But it was only in 1999 that the Dow hit that key price level of 10,000. Americans were preparing for that Y2K phenomenon, but it was also marked as a peak of the dot-com bubble. Bill Gates was the richest man with a net worth of approximately $90 billion at that time, and you were probably dancing to the tunes of Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Back in India, we were reeling under the impact of the Kargil War in 1999. Well, since then, the global market had to endure the dot-com bubble and also the global financial crisis, which pretty much defined most of the 2000s from an economic perspective. The index took way too long to hit the next milestone of 20,000, but it finally did 18 years later on January 25, 2017. The record came just days after Donald Trump took charge as the US president. The youth were humming to the tunes of Adele and Taylor Swift, and here in India, the leadership was under Narendra Modi and the economy was just adjusting to the post-demonetization era. The Dow went on to finish 2017 with returns of about 25%, and in 2018 it had already touched 25,000 levels. The index did see some fluctuations in the following years, and then came the pandemic. It did send shivers down investors' spines, but the resilience was uncanny. The Dow first broke that 30,000 levels on November 24, 2020. Earlier that month, Joe Biden had replaced Trump as the president, and technology companies had now made their prominence on the index. We had Jeff Bezos, who was the richest man of the world, with a net worth of approximately $182 billion. And Gen Z was gripped by the K-pop fever, with BTS ruling the charts. Here in India, even as the economy was limping back from the impact of COVID-19, Indian markets saw a rebound as the new vaccines gave hopes for a faster recovery. The momentum from the COVID lows carried through to 2021, and the Dow Jones breaking above the 35,000 levels. And well, within 4 years, here we are at 40,000 levels. Much of this rally and the subsequent gains have been powered by investors who are really excited around artificial intelligence or AI. The index is largely influenced by the Magnificent Seven, a group of mega-cap technology stocks. So the likes of an Amazon made an entry earlier this year into the Dow index. And let's not forget, we are still amidst two waging wars across the world, much of this geopolitical tensions, and with major countries that are going to polls this year. As far as for us here in India, the Indian markets touched new highs not too long ago, but we could see more volatility until the outcome of the general elections on June 4th. Investors have now pinned their hopes on the Federal Reserve, as a rate cut could perhaps propel the indices to new year highs. From the COVID lows, the Dow Jones alone has gained about 40-odd%. So each of these milestones really encapsulates the significant shift, be it in capital markets, financial markets, leadership changes, as well as those of the wealthy as well as music trends through all of these years. If you like such videos, keep watching moneycontrol.com.